On this horror timeline, we're still in our houses. We're still under quarantine. We're still doing this. It's going to be for a while now. So we're still doing How Bad Can It Be? Checking out the worst horror movies that I could possibly find. And widely considered to be one of the worst movies of all time is Troll 2. So I figured it's a good time to check out the Troll series and find out if it has continuity. Now, a lot of you guys are saying, isn't this a mini timeline? Aren't there only 2 Troll movies? No. And you're about to find out just how bad this can be. So it all began back in 1986 with Troll from Friday the 13th, The New Blood director John Carl Buechler, and shows the Potter family moving into a new place. Moving is the greatest terror. And the family consists of Mo Rutherford, Atreyu, the stepfather's wife, and little sister Wendy, who's attacked by a troll who takes her place. Their apartment complex also houses the mayor of Palm Springs, Andy Travis, the Veep, and...
My name's Harry Potter. Nice to meet you, Porter. No, Potter.
Did he say his name was Harry Potter? Is this after the Deathly Hallows? Other residents were lost in space at one point, and little Wendy reveals herself to stab Cher's ex with her ring, which doesn't kill him, and instead transforms him into a cocoon which sprouts a fantasy garden in his apartment, complete with little critters, or ghoulies, or, dare I say, goblins. Magical Eunice here has a little Groot thing, and...
My name's Harry Potter Jr.
Wait, the kid's name is Harry Potter too? He's Harry Potter Jr.? So a kid named Harry Potter is drawn into a world of magic and fantasy? Where have I heard something like that before? We meet one more resident with the always amazing, incredibly underrated Phil Fondacaro, who also plays Turok the Troll. Also, check out Michael Moriarty's Smooth Moves. Awesomely, the creatures get a musical number, and pretty soon, Turok has converted most of the apartments into fantasy realms. Eunice says they moved in on Walpurgisnacht, which is when the creatures of the night are out, and then stands in front of a calendar that says it's October, and the days of the week match up to 1985, which is weird because Walpurgis is in April or May, and the last time Walpurgis was on a Friday was in 1982. So I guess it could be then, if not actually October? I mean, it seems weird that she would have a calendar with the wrong date up, so I guess in this odd universe, Walpurgis is in October for some reason. Malcolm gets converted too in a scene that's actually kind of genuinely touching. And Eunice transforms into a younger self, and fun fact, it's Anne Lockhart, June's real-life daughter. She gets transformed as well, but Harry saves his sister and faces off against the head creature that Turok made in the heart of the realm. And unfortunately, it tries to kill little Wendy, who the troll wanted to keep for himself, and he's forced to destroy it, reversing the spell that he had cast and restoring Eunice, but I guess no one else? Although Turok does take over a cop and lives on. So 4 years later, in 1990, it happened. Troll 2 was unleashed on the world, and nothing was ever the same. It starts with a grandpa telling his grandson about a race of goblins, not trolls, goblins. You see, this film was shot under the title Goblins, but was then retitled Troll 2 to cash in on the cult success of the original. Little did anyone know that its legend would far surpass that of its namesake. It turns out that Josh's grandpa is dead, and we meet his mom, sister, and dad, and they're planning their trip to Nilbog. Nilbog. N-I-L-B-O-G. They head out on their journey.
Start singing. Come on, sing that song I like so much.
I don't feel like singing, Mom.
Just sing.
Row, row, row your boat gently down a stream.
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Ah, yes, my favorite tune. Row, row, row your boat. They arrive in Nilbog, and I guess they're doing an exchange with a country family? Like, a vacation exchange? Is this a thing? I've never heard of people doing a vacation exchange before, but that's the layered world of Troll 2, I guess. So that family leaves behind a meal of suspiciously green food, and seriously, would you ever eat any of this? And Grandpa Seth tells Josh to stop them, so he pees on the food.
Do you know what it means? Hospitality. And you can't piss on hospitality. I won't allow it!
Holly's boyfriend and his friends follow them, and they come face to face with the goblins and end up in the house of Credence Lenore Gilgood, who feeds them the green stuff, and this girl melts and is eaten. And I mean, you know what happens next, right? I mean, you've probably seen it a million times. You probably don't want to see it again. I mean, do you? Okay.
They're eating her. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!
Holly dances, and wow, does she dance. And when Josh catches a sight of the town's name in the mirror, it all comes together.
Wrong! It's Goblin spelled backwards!
There's an awesome shopkeeper and an amazing preacher, both giving top caliber performances the like that you've never seen before and probably aren't likely to ever see again. Grandpa Seth shows up to help in person, Credence cleans up, and Mom just gives crazy eyes like all the time. And they try really, really hard to make a corn of cob sexy. They fail. For some reason, there's a piece of Stonehenge here, which is the source of goblin power, so Josh and Seth touch it, which brings about a final face-off, but Josh has a secret weapon.
A double-decker bologna sandwich!
Which he eats. They all touch the stone, which destroys the goblins, and Josh has a Batman poster on his wall, so we're definitely post-89, so I think saying that real-time 90 is fair, and the goblins are still alive, and they've eaten Josh's mom.
Do you want some, Joshua?
So here's where things get tricky, because technically there's only 2 Troll movies, but there were 2 different movies that were actually released as Troll 3 and then retitled. The first was Contamination 7, also known as The Crawlers, and also released as Troll 3 to cash in on the brand in 1993. When Josie here returns home after a long time, the local power plant also has an increase in radioactivity in the area, which causes the plants to come to life and start killing. Everything and everyone looks like they're from the 1980s instead of 1993, and more people get vined. Hey guys, just be thankful that these weren't Evil Dead vines, or else you'd be in for a whole different experience.
Leave the whole area quickly.
Now calm down, and maybe you ought to sober up.
So I wonder what the deal was with this guy. I mean, how bad could his dialogue have been in order for them to dub him over like this?
Do you have any forms or anything I need to sign?
No, that's okay. You're free to go.
Soon the plants are all over town like the worst hentai ever, and the evil power plant head kills himself, and the townspeople gather to fight back. A toy helicopter explodes, and people get attacked by plant monsters that are very clearly holding on to themselves, until the EPA brings in bulldozers to save the day. We cut to a while later, and it's Christmas, and Josie is pregnant, and oh no, the vines are in the tree. And there's no date here, so let's just say it's real-time 1993, and if you were mad that they called Troll 2 Troll even though the villains were goblins, I mean, at least they looked somewhat trollish. Killer vines brought to life by nuclear waste has nothing to do with trolls whatsoever. And then to complicate things, there was also another Troll 3, although it was only released under that title in Germany and Hungary. In the US, it was called Quest for the Mighty Sword. It's technically the 4th film in the Ator series of films, but it was called Ator 3, I guess. And if you're not down with the Ator movies, don't worry, I'll be covering them at some point in the future because they're just ridiculous. MST3K featured at least 2 of them, so that should let you know just how ridiculous that they are. Even though it really doesn't have anything to do with the Troll movies, it does feature this costume that was in Troll 2 at one point, which I guess is why they decided to call it Troll 3, but it really is stretching the title. There's been a couple of attempts to carry the series on in other forms. There was an animated series that was attempted to be made about the adventures of Harry Potter Jr., which never got off of the ground, most likely due to character name rights and such. I can't really imagine them making a series called Harry Potter, even though that it was the name of the character that they originally used. I don't quite see it getting past the lawyer stage of things. Also, there was lots of plans to make Troll 2 Part 2, which never actually happened as it is stuck in development hell. I'm kind of curious to see how this would turn out, but I'm slightly afraid that it would turn out like Birdemic 2, where they were now in on the joke and intentionally trying to make something bad. I also recommend checking out the documentary Best Worst Movie. It's actually by the actor that played Josh from Troll 2, and it's about the film's eventual notoriety into B-movie fame and reunions of the cast, and it's just fantastic, and you should check it out. So there you have it. It's 4, 3, 2. I don't know how many movies you actually want to count that as part of the Troll series. But there's really only one Troll movie. The rest of them are just movies that are associated with the title. None of these are connected. There's no continuity whatsoever within each of them. They're all their own separate movie. They don't need to be watched together, apart, or whatever. I love the first Troll movie. Some people call it a bad movie. I do not. I think it is a very enjoyable, very good movie. I like a lot of it. I will watch it regularly, and it is something I'll just put on as something that's kind of fun. I don't know. Maybe I just like bad movies, but that one's pretty good to me. Troll 2 is everything that anyone has ever said. It may be one of the worst movies ever made, but it is also one of the most fun movies ever made. There's no way you could not watch Troll 2 and laugh the entire way through it. It's great. It is so ridiculous and so ineptly made. Every single wrong choice was made in filmmaking that ended up being right. It's just so much fun. If you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it. It is definitely the epitome of so bad it's good. And you will enjoy it. Troll 3 or Crawlers or Contamination 7 or whatever you want to call it is rather dull, pretty uninteresting, not really worth watching. It's pretty bad. It's not painfully bad, but it is bad. You could skip it. It's not really necessary to watch. Well, that's about it for this one. This one was not that bad. In terms of how bad could it be, there's a lot enjoyable in this one. This one was a lot of fun to kind of revisit and check out. I've seen most of these movies, except for Crawlers. I've seen Troll 1 and 2 dozens of times, and just enjoy watching them quite a bit. So I think you will too if you haven't seen them. So give it a shot. Let me know if you've seen them. Let me know what you think down below. Like and subscribe, comment, do all that good stuff. Check out the patrons over here. We're still going to keep on going with the how bad could it be. We've got a couple more weeks of this left, so let's make the worst of it. See what I did there? And I'll see you guys in a little while later for another great video. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.